Singapore, a tiny island nation in Southeast Asia, might seem worlds apart from China, a vast superpower with a population of over 1 billion. But behind the scenes, Singapore played a crucial role in helping China rise to become the global powerhouse it is today. How? Well, the story is more fascinating than you might think. In this video, we'll reveal the surprising ways Singapore helped China's economic boom, from high-level diplomacy to strategic investments and even cultural exchanges. By the end, you'll see just how this small nation punched way above its weight to support China's ascent onto the world stage. Chapter 1. The Economic Blueprint: How Singapore Showed China the Path to Prosperity. China's economic transformation in the late 1970s was a turning point in world history. For decades, China remained isolated under Chairman Mao's rule, with a primarily agrarian economy. However, when Deng Xiaoping took charge, China began to open up to the world, marking the beginning of one of the most remarkable economic turnarounds ever seen. But how did China go from a rural society to a global powerhouse? Much of that success can be traced back to Lee Kuan Yew, the founding father of Singapore, who became an unlikely yet pivotal mentor to China. Lee Kuan Yew wasn't just a political leader, he was a visionary who transformed Singapore from a struggling port city into a global financial hub. His ideas on governance, economic management, and development caught the eye of China's leaders as they sought to modernize their country. Lee's approach to building a strong economy centered on economic pragmatism, efficient governance, and market-friendly policies. These ideas resonated deeply with the Chinese, who were looking for a model to guide their own economic reforms. In the early 1980s, as China began to embrace economic liberalization, Lee Kuan Yew became a trusted advisor to Deng Xiaoping and other Chinese leaders. Lee shared the critical lessons he had learned from Singapore's own rise to prosperity, emphasizing the importance of clean governance, attracting foreign investments, and creating long-term development plans. His advice helped shape China's own strategy for growth and laid the foundation for many of the reforms that would follow. One of Lee's most significant contributions was his influence on China's special economic zones, SEZs. These zones, like Shenzhen, became testing grounds for China's shift toward a market economy. Lee's experience with Singapore's free trade zones provided a blueprint for China's SEZs, which allowed foreign businesses to set up operations in China while enjoying favorable policies. This marked the beginning of China's Industrial Revolution, as these zones attracted foreign capital, created jobs, and sparked rapid development. In essence, Singapore's economic blueprint became the guiding light for China's rise, proving that a small nation could have a massive impact on a global giant's transformation. Lee Kuan Yew's strategic advice not only helped China modernize, but also showed the world the power of pragmatic economic governance. Chapter 2. Singapore's Role in China's Infrastructure. Boom. If you've ever had the chance to visit China, you've likely been struck by its impressive infrastructure: towering skyscrapers, cutting-edge high-speed trains, and bustling modern ports. But what you might not know is that Singapore played a pivotal role in helping China build much of this world-class infrastructure, which became the backbone of its rapid economic rise. In the 1990s, Singaporean companies, particularly those in the construction and real estate sectors, began playing a crucial part in developing China's urban landscape. Singapore had mastered the art of building smart, efficient cities, and its expertise made its firms the ideal partners for China's infrastructure boom. One of the most influential organizations in this process was Jurong Town Corporation, JTC, a Singaporean government-owned entity. JTC's deep experience in creating well-planned industrial parks was critical in helping China establish the infrastructure needed to support its booming manufacturing sector. These industrial parks were more than just factories. They were designed to attract foreign investment, create jobs, and support rapid economic development. As a result, JTC's work played a key role in China's transformation into the world's factory. The industrial parks were strategically placed in special economic zones, SEZs, which were modeled after Singapore's own success in creating trade-friendly hubs. These zones attracted both local and foreign businesses looking for favorable conditions to set up shop in China. The parks became breeding grounds for China's manufacturing boom, sparking economic growth that would lift millions out of poverty and propel China to the forefront of the global economy. In addition to building industrial parks, Singapore also contributed to China's port development. Singapore's port management expertise was crucial in helping China develop its port infrastructure, allowing its ports to become some of the busiest in the world. Singaporean companies helped design and manage some of China's largest and most efficient ports, including the Port of Shanghai, which is now the world's busiest port. This was vital for China's export-driven economy as it enabled goods to be shipped quickly and efficiently around the globe. Through its expertise in urban planning, industrial park development, and port management, Singapore helped China lay the foundation for its rise as a global economic powerhouse. Today, China's modern infrastructure is a testament to the strategic partnerships and knowledge sharing between these two nations, showcasing how a small country can have a significant impact on the transformation of a global superpower. Chapter 3: The Power of Trade, Singapore as a Gateway to China's Global Trade Network. One of the lesser-known yet crucial ways Singapore helped China rise to global prominence was through trade. As China began to open up its economy in the late 20th century, Singapore quickly became a key trade partner, not just because of the volume of trade, but because of its strategic role in helping China connect with the rest of the world. Singapore's Port of Singapore is one of the busiest and most efficient ports on the planet, making it a critical transit hub for Chinese exports. With its world-class infrastructure, the port was perfectly positioned to serve as a bridge between China's manufacturing heartland and global markets. Many goods produced in China, ranging from electronics to textiles, were routed through Singapore, which acted as a global distribution hub. This allowed Chinese products to reach international markets, especially in Southeast Asia and beyond, with speed and efficiency. But Singapore's role in trade didn't end with logistics. The city-state also played a crucial role in helping China tap into the global financial system. Singapore's robust financial infrastructure and business-friendly environment made it an ideal gateway for foreign investment pouring into China. Multinational corporations, MNCs, from around the world, particularly in industries like electronics, automotive, and consumer goods, use Singapore as their entry point to the Chinese market. These companies set up manufacturing operations in China, which not only provided China with cutting-edge technology, but also helped create the economic backbone of the modern Chinese economy. The influx of foreign capital and expertise also played a pivotal role in China's industrialization. Through Singapore's financial channels, Chinese companies were able to access international markets, raising capital, and forming strategic partnerships that would have otherwise been difficult. Singapore's close ties with global financial institutions, such as major banks and investment firms, helped establish China's credibility on the world stage, further integrating the country into the global business network. In essence, Singapore's trade expertise, combined with its strong international connections, helped China transition from a largely closed agrarian society into a global economic giant. By acting as a vital trade link and financial intermediary, Singapore played a behind-the-scenes but pivotal role in China's rise as an economic powerhouse. Through these strategic partnerships, Singapore not only helped facilitate trade, but also played a key part in shaping China's global economic connections, ultimately laying the groundwork for its dominance in the 21st century. Chapter 4: Cultural Diplomacy: How Singapore Connected China to the World. While Singapore was instrumental in China's economic rise, the city-state also played a significant role in helping China navigate the global stage through cultural diplomacy. Singapore's leadership understood early on that to strengthen China's position as a rising global power, it wasn't just about economic reform, it was also about how China was perceived internationally. After China's reform and opening up in the late 1970s, Singapore was one of the first countries to establish diplomatic relations with the newly reforming nation. At a time when many Western nations were still cautious about engaging with China, Singapore stepped forward as an important ally. Lee Kuan Yew, Singapore's founding father, was not just focused on economic growth, but was also keen on helping China build its political and diplomatic relationships with the rest of the world. His frequent visits to China were not just about discussing economic matters. They also aimed to enhance China's image on the global stage. Lee's deep understanding of international relations and his personal rapport with Chinese leadership allowed him to serve as a bridge between China and the rest of the world. Through his influence, China began to open more diplomatic doors, especially in the early days of its reform. Lee's counsel helped China engage with countries that had previously been hesitant to work with it, while also giving China the confidence to expand its diplomatic reach. Beyond politics, Singapore also helped China increase its soft power. One key way this was achieved was through the promotion of cultural exchanges. Singapore encouraged partnerships between Chinese and foreign scholars, students, and cultural organizations, which fostered mutual understanding and respect. These exchanges not only allowed China to share its rich cultural heritage, but also enabled it to learn from the global community, modernizing its cultural approach while preserving its traditions. China's acceptance into global cultural circles was vital in softening its image and expanding its influence. Singapore's role in facilitating this exchange of ideas and people helped China become more globally integrated, and it also allowed China to adapt to international norms while asserting its own identity. The cultural exchanges served as a powerful tool in shaping China's image as a nation eager to contribute to global dialogues, not just as an economic powerhouse, but as a cultural player on the world stage. Through these efforts, Singapore not only helped China navigate the world of global diplomacy, but also played a key part in shaping how China was perceived internationally, establishing relationships that would have a lasting impact on its global standing. Chapter 5. Singapore's investments in China, a financial catalyst. Another often overlooked but crucial way Singapore helped fuel China's rise is through financial investments. Singapore's early and significant capital inflows into China laid the groundwork for many of the developments that propelled China to become the global powerhouse it is today. At a time when China was still finding its footing in the global market, Singaporean investors, through both sovereign wealth funds and private sector investments, were among the first to pour significant capital into China's rapidly growing economy. This early investment was essential for China's industrialization, especially in critical sectors like telecommunications, energy, and finance. One of the most influential players in this financial movement was Temasek Holdings, Singapore's government-owned investment firm. In the early 2000s, Temasek played a pivotal role in helping Chinese companies such as China Construction Bank and China Telecom go public and access international capital. These companies had previously been restricted by China's closed economy and limited access to global financial markets. Temasek's investments enabled these Chinese giants to raise much-needed funds to expand operations and modernize. This was a game-changer for Chinese companies, allowing them to tap into international capital markets, increase their global competitiveness, and accelerate their growth into the multi-billion-dollar corporations we see today. Temasek's early involvement also had a broader impact, helping set a precedent for other international investors to follow suit. The firm's successful investments demonstrated that China, despite its complexities and risks, was a viable and lucrative destination for foreign capital. This early example of international investment attracted a wave of global investors eager to capitalize on China's growth potential. As more companies followed, China's market became more integrated into the global financial system, setting the stage for the country's transformation into a dominant player on the world economic stage. Additionally, Singapore's banking sector played an essential role in helping China build a modern financial infrastructure. Singapore's banks, with their international networks and expertise in global finance, became crucial partners in facilitating the flow of capital into China. Many Chinese companies sought to raise funds or list their shares on international stock exchanges, and Singapore's financial institutions were key in making this possible. This helped China establish a robust financial system, which was necessary to support its rapidly expanding economy. In essence, Singapore's financial investments in China acted as a catalyst for many of the structural changes that allowed China to evolve into a global economic giant. By injecting capital into key industries and helping China connect with international financial markets, Singapore played a pivotal role in laying the financial foundations that supported China's economic rise. Through these strategic investments, Singapore helped China accelerate its growth, enabling it to take its place as a central player in the global economy. Chapter 6, A Shared Vision. Singapore's contribution to China's political stability. Beyond economic guidance, one of the most profound ways Singapore contributed to China's rise was through political advice. As China began to open up and modernize its economy, it also faced the complex challenge of political reform. Singapore, under the leadership of Lee Kuan Yew, had already established a model of efficient governance, anti-corruption policies, and meritocracy that was highly respected. These elements of Singapore's political system provided a valuable template for China, which sought to modernize its own political structure while maintaining control and stability. Lee Kuan Yew became a trusted advisor to China's leadership, including Deng Xiaoping and other senior officials of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. As China worked to balance political stability with economic growth, Lee's experience in managing Singapore's political system, which combined strict governance with pragmatic reforms, became incredibly valuable. The Chinese leadership was keen to learn how to govern such a vast and diverse country, and they saw Singapore as a model of how to achieve political stability without sacrificing development or growth. One of the key lessons Lee shared with China was how to maintain control over the government while still allowing economic reforms. Singapore's model of top-down governance, where strict discipline and control were maintained within the ruling party and bureaucracy, became an influential idea for China's internal reforms. By fostering a culture of meritocracy and accountability, Lee showed China how a strong, disciplined government could be an asset to rapid economic development without leading to authoritarianism or corruption. China's governance reforms were significantly influenced by Singapore's approach. Singapore's government had long prioritized efficiency, anti-corruption measures, and a strong work ethic within the political apparatus. Lee's insistence on high standards of accountability and transparency within the Singaporean system was a crucial lesson for China. He advised the Chinese leadership on the importance of cultivating an honest, competent bureaucracy, one that could implement policies efficiently and in the best interests of the nation. Furthermore, Lee's vision of long-term planning and maintaining social stability while pursuing economic reforms shaped China's approach to managing its massive population. The CCP adopted many of these ideas, striving to modernize the country while ensuring that political power remained firmly within the hands of the party. The discipline within China's leadership and the emphasis on unity and social harmony echo the principles that Singapore upheld in its own governance, where stability was seen as the foundation for growth. Ultimately, Lee Kuan Yew's political advice helped China shape its own version of authoritarian modernization, where economic growth could proceed alongside political control without the chaos often associated with rapid transformation. This partnership between Singapore and China was a demonstration of how shared visions of governance and stability could help a country navigate the complexities of modernization while maintaining political cohesion. Through Lee's guidance, Singapore became more than just an economic partner. It played a critical role in shaping China's political stability and governance strategy during a pivotal period in the country's history. Chapter 7. The Long-Term Legacy, a partnership that changed the world. While China's relationships with larger powers like the United States and the European Union often dominate global discussions, Singapore's influence on China's rise is a quiet yet profoundly impactful story that is often overlooked. Singapore, a small island nation, has played a critical role in China's economic, political, and cultural transformation, one that continues to shape China's policies in international relationships today. From the very beginning, Singapore's leadership, particularly Lee Kuan Yew, acted as a mentor and advisor to China. Singapore provided invaluable support to China, especially in the early stages of its economic reforms. The city-state's experience in governance, infrastructure, and trade laid the groundwork for many of the changes that China would implement. Through this quiet mentorship, Singapore helped China transition from a largely agrarian society to the global economic giant it is today. Singapore's role was multifaceted. It wasn't just about offering advice on economic reforms or guiding China on building modern infrastructure. It also helped China connect to global financial systems, create strategic trade networks, and attract foreign investments. Singapore's model of efficient governance, anti-corruption policies, and meritocratic principles became benchmarks for China's own political and governance reforms. These lessons were deeply embedded in China's development strategy, allowing China to modernize at an unprecedented rate while maintaining political control. What's particularly remarkable about Singapore's involvement is how its consistent support, though quieter than the contributions of other larger powers, played a more sustained and strategic role in China's success. While the United States and the European Union were important partners in certain respects, Singapore's proximity, knowledge, and shared history with China allowed for a unique and deep relationship that has endured for decades. As China sought to engage with the world, Singapore acted as a diplomatic bridge, facilitating China's integration into global trade, politics, and culture. Today, Singapore and China continue to maintain a strong and evolving relationship. Singapore is not just a trade partner, but a trusted strategic ally, with both countries cooperating on issues ranging from regional security to cultural exchanges and diplomatic initiatives. Singapore's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, partnership with China is one example of how the relationship continues to deepen, further integrating Singapore into China's plans for global infrastructure and trade development. The story of how Singapore helped China rise is a testament to how a small nation can punch far above its weight and play an outsized role in shaping the future of a global superpower. It proves that influence isn't always about size or power. Sometimes it's about timing, vision, and strategic partnerships that leave a lasting legacy. Singapore's quiet yet steadfast support for China shows how even the most modest nations can have a profound impact on the global order, helping to shape the trajectory of the world's most important economies. Conclusion: a surprising friendship that shaped the modern world. Who would have thought that the rise of one of the world's largest superpowers could be linked to the efforts of a small island nation? Singapore's influence on China is a fascinating story that showcases the power of diplomacy, trade, and a deep-rooted partnership. Through its guidance, investments, and expertise, Singapore played a pivotal role in helping China become the economic juggernaut it is today. It's easy to overlook the contributions of smaller nations when they're overshadowed by the actions of larger powers, but Singapore's impact on China's rise is a powerful reminder that even the smallest nations can leave an outsized legacy. By offering economic advice, financial support, and political guidance, Singapore helped China navigate the complexities of modernization, providing the country with the tools and strategies needed to transform its economy and become a leading force on the world stage. So the next time you hear about China's rise, remember the hidden influence of Singapore, a small nation with big ideas and an even bigger impact. The partnership between these two countries is a true testament to how collaboration, even between nations of vastly different sizes, can create monumental change. Singapore's unwavering support for China proves that sometimes it's not the size of the nation, but the strength of the partnership that drives transformative progress. Let us know your thoughts about Singapore's role in China's rise. Did you know about this surprising partnership? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating insights into global history.